You stop texting her. Total radio silence. At first, it seems like nothing's changed. She keeps posting on social media, laughing, living life as if you never existed. You might even sneak a peek at her profile and see that everything looks perfectly fine, or at least that's what she wants you to believe. But then, something shifts. Out of nowhere, her stories triple in number. Strategic selfies, random motivational quotes, heartbreak songs tossed in the mix for no apparent reason. The frequency ramps up. The tone changes. Suddenly, those classic little hints start popping up. Life always brings the right people into our path. Or, there's nothing like being surrounded by amazing folks. Sure. In the beginning, you might think, probably just a coincidence. Then one fine day, you get that notification. Hey, how've you been? Was that random? Genuine missing you vibes? Nope, my friend. That's her brain hitting the panic button because it realized a brutal truth. She lost control over you. And if there's one thing most people can't handle, it's that exact feeling. Now, pay close attention. What you're about to learn isn't some cheap trick. This is full-blown psychological warfare, and silence is your most lethal weapon. But before we dive in, a quick heads up. You're only seeing this video because someone had the good sense to hit like and subscribe earlier. So do your part, click that like, subscribe, and drop a thanks algorithm in the comments. It's not for me. It's for the good of all the lonely souls who need a reality check. Let's cut the fluff and get straight to it. Number 1. What is no contact and why is it so powerful? No contact isn't some childish sulk or cheap emotional ploy. This is high-level strategy, rooted in a brutally simple truth. People only value what they can't have. When you vanish off the grid, something inevitable happens. At first, she might not care. Maybe she's even celebrating the freedom. But as days go by, her brain starts screaming, where'd my free validation go? Humans hate scarcity. What used to be guaranteed your texts, your attention, your presence, suddenly disappears. And that's when the internal freakout begins. Here's the classic mistake most guys make, thinking no contact just means ignoring messages. Not even close. This goes way deeper. It's not about ghosting her. It's about turning yourself into a riddle. Because when you disappear without any explanation, with zero breadcrumbs, without letting her feel that you're still right in her pocket, you become a puzzle in her head, and puzzles demand solutions. But pay attention to the most important detail. No contact is not about her. It's about you. If you're doing this solely to make her come back, congrats, you've started off on the wrong foot. If you're checking your phone every 5 minutes to see if there's a new text from her, double congrats, you're still a prisoner in her game. The true goal of no contact is simple: to reclaim your own worth. Let's be real. Back when you were chasing her, typing out heartfelt paragraphs, trying to fix everything, what happened? Nothing. She pulled away, lost interest, treated you like plan B, C, or Z. But when you pull a Houdini and focus 100% on yourself, suddenly something changes. Doubt creeps in. Her mind starts wondering, did I lose something valuable? And the best part? This isn't manipulation. You're not promising anything. You're not pretending to be someone else. You're simply letting the natural consequences of her choices play out. She wanted distance? Fantastic. Now let her deal with the emptiness. That's the genius of no contact. It works because it doesn't force anything. No begging, no dramatic speeches, no explanations. You simply vanish and let reality do the dirty work for you. Now that you get the concept, let's crank it up a notch. What actually goes on inside her head when no contact is done right? Because trust me, the psychological impact runs way deeper than you might imagine. Number 2, the female psychology behind no contact. If there's one thing the human mind hates, it's uncertainty. Our brains need answers, closure, logic. Guess what happens when you disappear without a trace? You create a void she desperately wants to fill. In the beginning, nothing changes. She keeps posting, going out, living her life because in her mind, you're still there, waiting patiently like a well-trained puppy. But then something starts to nag at her. Days go by, and you don't come back. That's when the show begins. Most women are used to calling the emotional shots. They know they can snap a guy back with a single strategic story post, a vague message, or a casual, "Hey stranger." But when you break that pattern and fade away with zero explanation, you trigger a powerful psychological switch: loss aversion. It's simple and devastating. People feel the pain of losing something way more intensely than the pleasure of gaining something new. That's why so many folks stay stuck in awful relationships, toxic jobs, and self-destructive habits. The fear of loss is poison to the mind, and now, without lifting a finger, you've become her loss. So the questions swirl around her head. Did he really forget me? Did he find someone else? Was I just another fling? At first, these thoughts are faint, but as your absence drags on, that uncertainty snowballs into a bigger and bigger doubt. And here's the fascinating part. She starts missing you, even if she didn't plan to. Not because you were the love of her life, not because you're some perfect catch, but because her brain has now turned you into an unresolved challenge. It's the same reason so many women blow off great guys, but chase after the jerks. It's not that they enjoy suffering. It's that mystery and uncertainty create a weirdly addictive effect on the mind. And guess what? You're now that mystery. But chill, champ. This doesn't mean she'll instantly crawl back. Some women might hold out, pretending they don't care. Others will drop cheesy hints, post sad songs, or flood their feed with selfies. Anything to see if you're still watching. One thing's for sure. If you pulled off no contact properly, sooner or later, she'll feel the weight of your silence. Now, the million-dollar question. How long does this take? Well, my friend, to answer that, we need to talk about the 5 stages a woman goes through during no contact. And if you understand this process, you'll have an unfair edge in figuring out exactly when the tide turns in your favor. But first, a quick public service announcement. Heads up, buddy. Tired of being a doormat? Of swallowing scraps and acting grateful? Of being someone's backup plan? Then listen up. There's a digital book down in the description waiting for you. And guess what it's about? Teaching you how to be a challenge. If you're cool with letting people disrespect you while you beg for attention, all right then, keep living that doormat life. But if you want to flip the script, make any woman respect you. Or better yet, learn not to give a damn if she doesn't your choice. The world doesn't pity the weak. It's time to step up and set the rules, or stay the sucker who takes whatever's thrown his way. Simple as that. Number 3. The 5 stages she goes through during your silence. Now that you get the mental mechanics of no contact, let's talk about how it plays out in real life. Because despite what hopeless guys think, she won't start missing you overnight. She's not going to wake up the next day in a panic, sobbing for you. It's a process, and it comes in 5 stages. Each one is a trap to see if you truly have self-control, or if you'll blow it like a rookie. Let's go. 1. Indifference, days 0 to 7. This is where 99% of guys lose. They go silent for 2 or 3 days and expect her to be crawling back with longing. But the harsh truth? She barely notices you're gone. Initially, she thinks she's got the upper hand. In her mind, you're just being dramatic. You vanished? Great. She carries on as if nothing happened. She goes out, posts stories, enjoys her routine. If someone asks about you, she'll shrug it off with, "Oh, he's acting weird, but he'll pop back soon." And this is where the emotionally weak dude cracks. He sees she hasn't reacted and freaks, "Oh no, she really doesn't care." And then what does he do? Breaks the silence, shoots her a message, asks how she's doing, maybe tosses a desperate like on her story. Game over. You lose. But if you hang in there and stay cool, we head into the next stage. Curiosity, days 7 to 14. Now the plot thickens. She opens Instagram and realizes something's off. You've totally disappeared. No likes, no messages, zero interactions. This sparks the first bit of discomfort. Is he still thinking about me? This is when she starts testing the waters. Maybe she posts a vague line like, "Nothing like being surrounded by amazing people," or "Life goes on." Could be a random party story, laughing like she's having the time of her life, all to see if you'll bite. And guess what you do? Nothing. You keep your radio silence. And that's when the heat starts to rise. 3 doubt, days 14 to 21. Now it's getting interesting. If before she was just curious, now she's genuinely insecure. Her thought shifts from, "Is he still thinking of me?" to, "Has he really forgotten me?" This is where the little tests begin. She might ask friends about you. She might send a casual message just to see if you'll bite. Something like, "Hey, do you still have that book I lent you?" Or, "I totally forgot to ask you something." Obviously, she doesn't give a rip about the book. The goal is to see how you react. If you respond quickly, all sweet and attentive, like nothing happened, congratulations, you lose. She wins. But if you keep the silence, or reply short and cool, no big deal, that's when she hits the next stage. 4. Worry. Days 21 to 30. Now she's freaking out. She realizes she's lost her grip on you. Her usual tactics aren't working anymore. That's a massive blow to her ego. She starts feeling anxious, restless, annoyed. Her mind flicks into panic mode. Maybe he's moved on? Did he find someone better than me? How is it possible he's not chasing me? This makes no sense. By now, some women go full-on irrational. Some fire off emotional messages about missing you. Others try cheap jealousy ploys, posting pics with another guy just to trigger you. What do? Nothing. Because you're about to see the final act. 5. Action 30 days or more. If there's any shred of feeling left for you, this is when she finally makes a move. No more vague hints. She reaches out for real. Could be a simple, "Hey, how have you been?" Or, "I've missed you." Or even a blunt, "Can we talk?" Because after weeks with zero contact from you, she knows she's lost control. And if you've played your cards right, if you never caved like a desperate puppy now, she's at your mercy. But here's the million-dollar question. What do you do when that moment arrives? That's exactly what we'll answer next. Number 4. When the game starts to shift. You now know her psychological journey during no contact. At first, she ignores you. Then she starts wondering why you vanished. Over time, that curiosity morphs into worry. And by the final stage, she has to take action. But how do you know the game's officially flipped? Which signs show you've gone from needy to challenge? Simple. Watch for these clear signals that she's feeling the impact of your silence. 1. First sign. Instagram turns into her stage. If she used to post sporadically, suddenly she's become an overnight influencer. Her feed is on fire, her stories skyrocket, captions get all dramatic, sad songs, bolder pics, and deep quotes. Why? Because she wants your attention. She wants to see if she can still make you react. When you used to like and comment on everything, your radio silence is driving her nuts. She needs to test if she still has you wrapped around her finger. Second sign, she can't avoid saying your name. If you have mutual friends, bet on it. Your name will accidentally slip out in conversations. Wow, it's been a while since I saw him. Is he doing okay? Translation. For the love of God, tell me where he's hiding. Does this mean she'll text you right away? Not necessarily. Some women keep holding out, hoping you'll break first. But if you hold your ground and stay off the radar. 3. Third sign. The not-so-subtle indirects. When all else fails, she busts out the passive-aggressive longing. Stuff like, some people disappear and think they're missed. Sometimes you learn too late how to value someone. If you really want something, you do it. Yes, that's about you. Yes, she wants you to see it. If you ignore even this, her anxiety finally trumps her pride. 4. Fourth sign. The icebreaker message. This is the tipping point. When nothing else works, she contacts you directly. Might be a casual, "Hey, how are you?" or "Hey, saw something that reminded me of you." or some random favor like, "Could you help me with something real quick?" Doesn't matter the excuse. The main point is, she's reaching out on her own. The crucial moment. Don't throw away your advantage. Here's where most guys make the fatal mistake. Instead of maintaining their cool, instead of staying collected, they revert to their old ways. They reply right away. They pour out free attention. They act like nothing ever happened. And boom, she's back in the driver's seat. If you want to keep the upper hand, if you want her operating on your terms, you gotta know the biggest mistakes that shatter no contact. And that's exactly what we'll cover right now. Number 5. The biggest mistakes that kill no contact. Alright, so the game's flipped. She finally reaches out. Now all you have to do is respond and everything goes back to normal, right? Wrong. This is the exact moment where 90% of men toss all their progress in the trash. They spend weeks or even months waiting for that moment she finally texts. And the second it happens, they do precisely what they shouldn't. Check out these 4 deal breakers that can wreck your advantage and send you straight back to desperate mode. 1. Responding way too fast. She drops a casual, "Hey, stranger," and before she even locks her phone, your reply is already there. Game over. What does that tell her? That you're still on call 24/7. That no contact was just one big fake performance. That you were basically panting at the door, waiting for her to knock. Sure, she might keep the conversation going, but you've handed the power back to her. The mystery is gone. The curiosity melts into relief. If you want to keep control, here's a simple rule. Time to respond. Power. If she took weeks to text you, you can definitely take a few hours or even a full day to reply. It's not about being rude. It's about maintaining the new dynamic. Don't go back to being so predictable. To showing you were waiting for her. Another classic blunder. She says, "How are you?" And you gush, "Oh my God, I missed you so much. I was hoping you'd text." Poof, all gone. Why does this demolish no contact? Because it confirms everything she wanted to know. You're still right there, emotionally available. She still has total control. Deep down, you never truly let go. If she senses she can have you back whenever, game over. Her interest tanks, and you're back to square one. 3. Posting stuff just to get her attention. This mistake usually happens before she even reaches out. Some guys start tossing out vague quotes, sad songs, deep thoughts, all in the hopes she'll see and react. Problem, it's predictable. It shows you're stuck in the same emotional loops. It screams that no contact was just an act. Once she picks up on that, there's zero urgency for her to get in touch. The secret to no contact? Total silence. No signals, no cryptic posts, no attention-seeking stunts. Force, settling for crumbs. She hits you with a "hey," and you jump for joy, firing off a full-blown conversation as if nothing happened. Congrats, you just sold yourself for pennies. No contact isn't about a cheap trick to make her crawl back. It's about becoming a guy who doesn't need her to feel good about himself. So if you're serious about playing this game right, you need to know how to handle things when she finally returns. And that's exactly what's coming up next. Number 6, the right time to reply. She finally sent that message. Now we hit that crucial fork in the road. Either you stay in control or throw it all away with one hasty text. No pressure, right? Here's exactly what to do to keep your edge. Rule 1. Don't reply instantly. If she took weeks to reach out, why on earth would you answer in seconds? That screams desperation. That hands over all your progress on a silver platter. Be smart. Contain your anxiety. Wait a few hours. Maybe even a full day. Keep the mystery alive. Let her keep wondering if you still care. Reply too fast, and all the intrigue crumbles. Rule 2. Keep it neutral. Don't go overboard with excitement. Don't spill your guts like a love-struck teen. If she sends a simple, "Hey, how have you been?" The right move is, "I'm good, you?" Short, direct, cool enough to keep her guessing. It forces her to drive the conversation. But what if she sends something more emotional like, "I miss you. We need to talk." Now you've got 2 ways to play it. If you're still interested, respond lightly. "Oh yeah? What made you realize that?" She has to explain herself now. She's the one who left, so she's the one who needs to do the chasing. Rule 3. Don't agree to meet right away. If she suggests meeting, never reply, "Yes, whenever you want," like some lovesick puppy. Instead, try, "We'll see. Got a busy schedule this week. I'll let you know." This shows you have your own life. If she wants FaceTime, she should sense she needs to earn it. The bottom line, don't sell yourself short. If you played no contact correctly, she already knows you're not the same guy she walked away from. Now, to wrap it all up, let's talk about the real lesson here. No contact isn't just a lame tactic to make someone miss you. It's a turning point. It separates guys who beg for attention from guys who know their own worth. If you did everything right, you haven't just reignited her interest. You reclaim control over yourself. And now the biggest question, do you even want her back? Because after weeks of not running after her, not groveling, not settling for crumbs, you might have noticed something far more valuable. You never actually needed her in the first place. Now I want to hear from you. Have you ever pulled off no contact before? How'd it go? Drop a comment below. And if you want to learn more about keeping control and never again playing the fool, subscribe to the channel right now. Because my friend, this is just the beginning.